Hello, collective, my beautiful, beautiful people. So, today we are talking about the tower. So, the bottom cards, affecting energy, and the top cards. While I was shuffling, I knew there was gonna be a tower in some important position, and sure enough, it's the anchor of everything. Um, Again, something important and something shocking is coming your way. Now with these two, I don't see a sun here, I see an explosion. This tower is gonna give you an explosive transformation. It's not gonna be, smooth and lovely and all that. No, it's gonna be explosive. But it's a good transformation. I mean, it brings you happiness and it brings you victory, right? This also reminds me of a light bulb. Like, so many light bulbs are gonna go, are gonna light up inside you because of this tower, because of the shock. And yeah, you might be confused when this tower happens, angry, sad, disappointed, you know. You could be yelling, the other side could be yelling, both of you could be yelling. I mean, it's not necessarily gonna be pretty, you know. And the aftermath, the emotions after the tower are not gonna be pretty. But you are gonna get lots of epiphanies. And you're gonna be surprised, you know. You're gonna be so surprised by it's like imagine there was a building in front of your window, right? You couldn't see shit. You just saw the building and that was it. And it was so tall you couldn't see the sky. And then all of a sudden the demolition crew comes and tears down the building, and all of a sudden you can see clearly, you can see miles and miles, in front of your window. You can see the sky. You notice that there's trees and mountains, there's even a lake, so that's what's gonna happen with this tower. It's gonna be messy, just like when you demolish a building. It's debris everywhere, the dust is all around, people working and yelling, the machines being noisy. It's gonna be messy, but the view that you're gonna get is gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be mind-blowing. It's almost like you're gonna see rainbows every day. Birds are gonna come to you and talk to you. Bears will wave every morning. I mean, it's just gonna be, gonna be beautiful, even though it's gonna be messy at the beginning and confusing as fuck. Now, when I got this one at the bottom, I heard the words, the power of three. I don't know yet what that means. Maybe it means something for you. I don't know. But those are the words that I heard. The power of three. Could be also if they were shooting themselves in the foot this whole time, or did something wrong that was building up. With this tower, it's like it's gonna come back at them threefold, like those witchy sayings. It's not gonna be a pretty tower for them, I mean, this kind of tower I never felt before in a reading. It's almost like Armageddon type of shit, Now it could be just energetically, but I do believe it's more physically. It has to manifest physically somehow. It's a pretty powerful tower, Now, if you're not talking to your DM, it could be that you're gonna hear something from a third party about them, and it's gonna shock you. Either way, it's some kind of conversation, that's gonna cause a tower. And it's gonna give you epiphanies about the past and the moments when you left yourself out in the cold. I mean, the epiphanies are about your, like in the last reading I said it's gonna trigger, so the tower is gonna trigger something something inside you that you didn't heal or didn't heal properly, something way back that you either forgot or never saw it as a core thing, or you just carpet swept it and forgot about it, whatever it is, it's something old that's gonna be brought up to the surface with this tower. And that thing is gonna give you it's gonna be like a cheat sheet why you left yourself out in the cold in the past. It's gonna give you some answers. And it's gonna transform the pain that it caused. So this is kind of like the ultimate mirror that you're gonna put up to each other. So that pain is gonna kind of balance itself. Now remember, every time they trigger you, it has nothing to do with them. Every trauma, every wound, you can trace it back to your childhood or your teen years. So it's way in the past, before you even met your person. So if you get pissed, let's say a conversation happens, they trigger you, you get pissed, see where that anger is coming from. Don't put a face on it, like I mentioned all the time. Don't put your DM's face on it. Don't repeat the movie in your head, the conversation and all that. Just focus on the feeling. And I promise you, it's gonna go all the way to your childhood. Now, I can give you my example. Like I mentioned in the previous reading, my DM came to me at 2 a.m. while I was sleeping, woke me up to talk to me telepathically. And I got pissed. Now, why did I get pissed? In the beginning, when we had that soul recognition and everything, the first lockdown happened, and here it was for 6 months. So in those 6 months, we were talking telepathically pretty often, but we never talked in 3D. We never had a physical conversation. She even stopped communicating telepathically like a year and a half ago, something like that. Now in the meantime, I stopped focusing on her, I was just focusing on myself and all that, yada yada yada. And now when she came, I was like, are you serious? You haven't spoken to me in the 3D for 2.5 years, and now you come to me telepathically. Like, what the fuck? It pissed me off. Because I felt like I was some kind of secret, like I was some kind of disease that you need to keep hidden. And when I focused on that, why did I feel like that? Well, why was I pissy about being hidden, right? And it took me back to my childhood. Back to my childhood when I started school, so around 7. I was kind of like a social butterfly, when I was a kid. I loved playing outside. I had many friends. I was even the popular girl, right? And then the first day of school, all of a sudden, those girls who were playing with me the day before weren't even speaking to me, weren't even looking at me. I was basically the black sheep in the class, and I never knew why. I still don't know why. But everybody was picking on me. I mean, they weren't doing anything physical, it was more mental bullying. But those popular girls, when we were alone, they would talk to me like we were best friends, you know. They would share something that was bothering them. And that was so fascinating to me. And then the next day, like nothing happened, you know. Again, avoiding me, you know. It's like I had a plague, you know. God forbid you look at me or touch me, you know, you're gonna get the disease as well. Then you're gonna die. Uh, but, you know, that thing that she isn't talking to me in the 3D, but telepathically brought me back to that childhood memory, you know. Everybody was hiding the fact that they were talking to me and that they opened up to me, you know. Like I remember one example. uh, One of those popular girls, her mom got sick, and she was so sad about it because they didn't know uh, if she would get better, if she would get cured or not. So it was a lot, you know, for a 10-year-old. And everybody was, you know, oh my God, how are you? What's happening with your mom? Oh my God, you know, everybody was there hugging, asking questions and all that. Of course, I was on the side. I didn't even bother, you know. And then when the big break happened, she actually came to me and asked, would I go for a walk with her? Because on the big break we could go outside in the school and take a walk. And I was so surprised, I was shocked. I was like, okay, sure. And the whole time that we were walking, she shared how she feels, how she's afraid, you know, what's happening in her household. But I was more surprised, you know, that she shared how she feels on the inside, because she wasn't telling that to anybody. Like all her friends were like, oh my God, how are you feeling? Oh my God, you know. And she would just close down, you know. And I didn't ask anything, absolutely anything. And she just blurred everything out, you know. And even while she was talking, I didn't say anything. I was just listening to her, you know. And that's probably everything that she needed. She just needed somebody to listen, you know, and not bombard her with millions of questions, you know. And then when we came back in, everything was the same, you know. She didn't mention to anybody that she took a walk with me. God forbid she told anybody that she was talking to me, you know. And it was always those kind of situations, you know, and it made me hell of a confused, you know. Like, why would you talk to me when nobody is looking, and then pretend like I don't exist, you know, when we are amongst the classmates? Like, so anyway, that telepathic conversation that happened took me back to that memory, you know. And she basically showed me what I need to work on, right? And later, the next day or in 2 days, whatever, I was talking to my inner child. And sorry, I'm not crying. I just have a dry throat. So the other day I was talking to my inner self, my inner child, and while I was talking to her, I actually discovered what I was doing, like what was my purpose in all that, even though I wouldn't, ask questions or, poke the bear or whatever. Even if I was just listening, um, it had a purpose. Like while I was talking to my inner child, I got like a vision, because those girls weren't being their authentic self, even in that young age, right? It's like I was pulling out a seed of their authenticity and basically watering it and planting it back, and it, just like a plant, it doesn't grow overnight, but I do believe it changed something in them, in some amount of time, in the future, but it felt like that, it felt like I was pulling that seed and putting like that memory, when they opened up and when they were their true self. Like I was putting that memory inside the seed, and then I put the seed back inside them, and it grew, and over time it probably helped them. I didn't go that far into my vision, but I did get some answers, so so whatever happens, and I even um, I even thanked my DM for that, for that little tower. So whatever trigger happens, just go back and don't give it a face, just focus on the feeling, because that part when I was 7 doesn't have anything to do with my DM. It was just something that I was dragging all up to this point, and I wasn't even aware. So that's where my anger came from. And that was my transformation with that pain. So whatever trigger you have, you're gonna have lots of epiphanies that's gonna change you. And it's gonna change the whole perspective of this soulmate cycle. It's gonna change the perspective about you, about your DM, just everything. Like I said, it's really explosive. I never felt a tower like this. And your DM is also gonna have the same epiphanies, the same triggers coming up, the same unhealed stuff, that they carpet swept. It could also be patterns that you repeated and you kind of weren't aware of them. Like you might be aware of your patterns, right? What you're doing, like when a woman always picks the naughty boys, right? Always the bad guys. She's aware of that, but she doesn't go deep in the understanding why she's doing that. So if you have any kind of patterns, you're gonna realize why you are doing those patterns. I mean, it's just gonna go deep, you know. Like this sun, I see it I see it like imploding, is that the word? When it goes inside, it's imploding and then it goes up. That's how I see the energy of this card. So this tower is gonna go deep, imploding, right? And then those epiphanies will go. My God, it's like it's nuclear, you know. It's pretty cool. And then your initial reaction to this tower could also change, you know. Like if you were angry, you will become softer because of these realizations. So whatever the trigger is, it's almost like you became rigid in that part where that trigger is coming from. Like if it's, for example, abandonment issues, it's almost like you became rigid with that, almost kind of closed off because of it, you know. And that's why it goes deep and then it bursts out. Imagine you put bricks on top of it, you know, on top of the abandonment issues, and then it just went all those bricks gone. And it's gonna make you softer, you know. It's gonna make you softer towards your inner child. It's gonna give you that self-love. It's almost like there was anger building up, building, then explodes, and all of a sudden just love comes out, and flowers and everything, you know. Grass, beautiful green grass. It's that kind of feeling. It's very unique tower. And that conversation that I had with my inner child was very, it gave me epiphanies, but it was also so warm and beautiful. I could actually see the wisdom in that little girl, you know, and her strength, in her bravery. And I told her all that, and I could see how intertwined it is. Like that past and the present and the future. I could see how both of us are impacting each other. Like my growth, my realizations are actually the ones that are giving her strength, were giving her strength in the past, you know. So my present self was actually present there, you know. So my present self was actually protecting my past self. It was like I was a guide to myself, you know, kind of like that. It's all intertwined, you know. So with every trigger that you get, always go back to your inner child and talk to her or him. Hug them, you know, tell them you love them. You're gonna see how what a wise soul that little child is. You're gonna feel it. And with that, you're gonna give each other that love and self-love and the feeling of safety and the feeling of being complete and whole, you know. So whatever happens here, come back to your soft side, your child side. It's very important. You might get angry, you know, with the trigger, but remind yourself of that love, of that unconditional love that children feel. Okay. This might as well be you as a child, you know. Something you did with the DM, and put yourself out in the cold because of it. Again, it's gonna bring you to that child who was left out in the cold. You just have to dig. You have to dig that emotion that comes up, that trigger. Again, don't put face on it. If you put a face on it, then you're gonna just get more and more mad. Because it's gonna remind you who gave you that trigger. Anyway, okay, tell me about the Five of Pentacles. And with those realizations and talking to your inner child and all that, it's actually gonna bring end to the pain of that trigger. And you're gonna come into balance, you know, because you acknowledge that part, you heal that part, or you're working on it to heal it, you know. Eight of Cups. Why did I feel abandonment issues? That was just an example. Knight of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Your person is gonna feel a surge of love all of a sudden. Now why? I don't know exactly. I mean, it's the combination of all of these crazy energies. It could be that you went into separation because of the tower, and because of their own realizations, they all of a sudden realize that they do love you and that they can't be without you or whatever. And they come running towards you. So before they were running away from you and leaving both in the cold, but now because of the love, because of that dam that broke and let all the love in, now they are running towards you. Now that scenario could take time, so be patient. The fourth card, Magician. Yeah, could be them running towards you, to have conversation, so they can fix things. But there is something wobbly here. Could be because of your realizations and your transformation that you might not be sure if you want them anymore. Or it could be that you were fine all this time and they show up unexpectedly and then that kind of disrupts your vibe, your peace, kind of throws you out of balance for a second, right? I don't think you will fall out of balance, but it might get you a little bit wobbly. Also because you are connected and through that symbiosis, right? As I mentioned here, you're gonna get an influx of love, of that love energy, because you're gonna become softer. So they might feel that within you. All of a sudden, you're lovely, you're loving, you're nurturing, you're warm. And I'm talking about the energy. So they might feel that and again start running towards you. They have something specific to tell you. But Queen of Cups, she's all love and that warm feeling, like a nice cozy blankie. And everybody wants that. Everybody gravitates towards that, So it's no wonder it's gonna make them run towards you. Now what's at the bottom? Eight of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Five of Swords, Seven of Wands. Again, we have the Five of Swords. And again, oh my god, bookending the Three of Pentacles. Three. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you might have walked away because of your own, you were trying to make a point, you know? You were trying to defend yourself, to make a point, to stand your ground. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, to stand up for yourself and all that. But right now, she looks kinda angry, you know. I feel lots of anger here in this card, and it's like she put this bubble by herself in order to not be hurt again. It's almost like a wall, not a bubble. So you might have walked away defending yourself, but it was from a place of anger instead of love. And that's that rigid feeling that I mentioned here. It's all because of that trigger. But once you find out where that trigger is coming from, that wall is gonna come down, that bubble is gonna burst, and you'll become this, the Queen of Cups. She's all open. She doesn't have any wall, any bubbles. She's open, you know. She lets people approach. She lets people look, because she's confident in herself, you know. She knows nobody can hurt her as long as she is in that high vibration, being authentic, having her heart chakra open. And if somebody does try to hurt her or anything, she will just stop giving them the cup, the water. So that's her way of doing it, you know. She doesn't hurt the other people, the other person. She just closes the pipe, you know. No more water for you. So the person can feel what they lost, you know. She doesn't do revenge. She gives them the opportunity to see what they lost. What else do we have? So again, that heart chakra will burst open at some point. it's also reminding you to keep it open, to remind yourself of love, to not be in a negative state, in a negative thought pattern, or negative emotions. This is them realizing that because they were shooting themselves in the foot this whole time, they never built any solid foundation with you. Even if you were together at some point and you went into separation again, there wasn't any real foundation in that relationship. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't break up, right? I mean, it's pretty logical. And for some reason I see this guy, he's not looking at this guy, he has his back turned. And it's almost like he's celebrating that he's on the top of the mountain. Like, I made it, oh my god. He doesn't even see this guy. Now that's interesting. Now that tells me that you might fly high when you get those epiphanies and all, when you get the new perspective on everything, fresh eyes. It's almost like you're getting fresh eyes, you know? And that's you realizing those patterns within you, realizing the stuff that you didn't see before, putting the puzzle pieces together, you know. So this guy is celebrating the victory, you know. Now then, it's gonna take them a spell, you know. They don't have a cheat sheet, you know. They are not looking at tarot readers on YouTube. They can't read the energy. They don't know how it works. They don't know how triggers work, you know. So they are gonna be more confused than you, you know. Now these birds look like they're flying above you. Now those birds, since they are messengers, it reminds me of swords. And them being 4 birds, it reminds me of 4 of swords. So that reminds me of healing, you know. So that's you doing the healing and getting the victory because of that healing, you know. Well, they are still being, how to put it? Well, they are still being blasted with that Ace of Swords, you know. 1 bird, ace. And again, they're gonna realize that they fucked up. So you're basically both juggling your own stuff. Doing your own stuff, healing your own stuff. You both got triggers with this tower, but it's not the same core problem of the trigger, you know. Okay, tell me about the Ten of Swords. Man, before bed I was thinking about this reading and I was like, the universe is probably gonna extend on that tower energy. I guess I was right. Three of Cups. Oh, again, it reminds me of this, you know, holding back, and then this is holding back, and then all of a sudden that flow of realizations. Oh my god, what did I mention just a few seconds ago? I mentioned healing and Four of Swords. Well, Six of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's divine timing for this healing, and it's gonna give you balance, just like I said here. It's gonna balance you out. There was some core issue that you were dragging this whole time and you weren't aware of it, and this tower is gonna bring it to the surface, just like a volcano when it erupts. It's all that lava, stagnant lava that you couldn't see beneath the surface, and it comes out. Because of these energies of September and whatever shit is happening in the sky, it's just perfect timing for that trigger to come up. And it's gonna bring balance to you. It's gonna be a huge epiphany. It's gonna bring balance to you, but it's also gonna bring balance into the connection. It's almost like it's gonna set you free, you know, whatever the epiphany is. It's really beautiful. Now the same thing is gonna happen for your DM, but it is gonna take them a little bit of time, because like I said, they don't know how triggers work and what they need to look at when a trigger happens, you know. And even that core problem, you know, that comes to the surface, maybe it's gonna take them time to even see it, you know. But the universe is trying to balance it. Like I said, it's gonna bring balance into the connection itself, and we do have the infinity sign here. Because this trigger is rooted so deeply, it's gonna have a huge impact on the connection itself, you know. It really is a specific tower. And like I said, you're gonna have that um, that love within you is gonna emerge, you know, once you figure shit out. uh, and again, it's a nice flow of positive and warm energy. You're just gonna feel so proud of yourself when you figure out uh, what's actually happening. You're gonna be happy that you figured it out. Um, and you know, when we accomplish something on our own, the feeling is even more greater, you know, um, and it sticks better. You know, it has more impact if you figure something out on your own than somebody telling you. Because when somebody tells you things, you listen with the brain, you know, most of the times. But when you figure things out, you figure it in the soul. It comes from the soul. It's that light bulb in the soul. That's why sometimes when people explain the energies in the reading from the cards, uh, you can understand with your brain, you can understand the definition and all that, you know. But when you actually experience it, and when you feel it in the soul, when that clicks in the soul, that's when you get that aha, that aha moment, you know. And I'm sure you all had those kind of epiphanies. You know, I can be here and tell you how unique the tower is and how shocking it is and how explosive it is, but that's just words, you know. Until you feel it for yourself, that's when it's gonna uh, that's when it's gonna light up the soul, you know. That's when you're actually gonna feel it. Again, epiphanies in the third eye, and it's gonna bring you this a happy new beginning within yourself, uh, and that's gonna attract a happy new beginning in the 3D. Just like they say, it all begins inside you. If you have a full cup, somebody with a full cup, you're gonna attract somebody with a full cup. It's that kind of thing, you know. Like I said here, you're gonna have that influx of self-love and nurturing and warmth and all that, and it's gonna attract your person back, you know. You're gonna feel something disturbance in the force. This would also be that realization about the anger, about the trigger that I mentioned. that trigger might bring you back, you know, like I said, to childhood and family, family home, family upbringing, childhood friends, something about home, you know. But again, it's there to bring you in balance. Same for your DM. Okay, tell me about justice. I like this tower, even though it's messy and, you know, pretty destructive, but it is pretty cool. Like, the outcome is just mind-blowing. The star. Again, it reminds me of something deeply rooted, you know, like the string, it goes all the way down. Goes from the heart all the way to the tippy toes and into the ground. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, something that was hidden. Three of Wands. Nine of Wands. Yeah, something that was hidden coming to the surface pretty soon. If it hasn't already, it's coming. Brace yourself. Kids outside. Anyway. So yeah, something that you didn't fully let go, and something that was buried. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, you know. And again, it's for both of you, for the DF and for the DM. Big old transformation, death in the middle. Yeah, though that transformation, the choppy waters here is the tower. So the trigger or whatever shit happens here, it's gonna bring choppy waters inside you, you know, and around you, but it is there to set you free. To set you free from that trigger that you were, from that core problem that you had inside you. It's coming up so it can set you free. That's pretty amazing. That's beautiful, actually. That's why I always say, excuse me, sorry. I ate before I came here. Anyway, that's why I always say the universe does things for you, not to you. So even though it's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's confusing, it's actually happening to set you free. You're shedding. You know, these pentacles can also be like the what's it called, the iron ball around the ankle, you know. Here she is free, you know. She took all those iron balls and put them up, you know, as a kind of as a reminder, but now she's free, you know, she can run, she can do all kinds of stuff. Whereas before she was stopped in her tracks because of that, you know. Wow, amazing. And again, something that was rooted deep down, coming to the surface. You're getting those epiphanies, right? Downloads. Just repeats itself very beautifully. Okay, tell me about the Six of Cups. High Priestess again. Again, the past, epiphanies, blah blah blah. Two of Cups. Yeah, like I said, both of you are getting these energies. Two of Wands and the Chariot. Yep, coming pretty fast. Now when this tower happens, you might feel like everything is out of control all of a sudden, you know. Just like a bomb. When a bomb goes off, you know, everybody's confused. Oh my god, what happened? Everybody's running in panic. But on the other hand, when you figure it out, that's what's gonna give you control back. And that control is bookending the Queen of Cups. So again, we return to love. Always return to love and the heart chakra. That's your strength. That's what gives you control. Your DM doesn't know that they always had their heart chakra and their feelings shut down because they think it's it's weakness, you know. They never saw it as strength. But you do. You have and you will. And with this newfound balance inside you, there's a whole new world. Like it almost feels like a new cycle. There's a whole new world. A new path will be open, because now you're seeing clearly, like I mentioned in the beginning, with the demolition of the building. All of a sudden you see for miles and miles, and everything is clear. The sky is clear, you know. You see the mountains and the trees. This is that. A whole new world, a whole new opportunities. When you get this major kind of transformation and epiphanies, you just see things differently. You know, it's almost like having a near-death experience. You know, when you come back, you see everything differently. You know, and you cherish life more and everything. It's that kind of feeling. You're gonna cherish yourself more. You're even gonna cherish this connection more. You might even cherish the DM more, because in essence they brought you this epiphany through that trigger, even though it's messy, you know. But like I mentioned at the beginning, I said thank you to my DM, you know, because she made me PC. So yeah, it's like a near-death experience. You're gonna cherish, you're just gonna cherish everything from a new point of view, you know. Just like that person cherishes a life all of a sudden, you know, because they almost died. And this is also about balance, you know, because this dude needs to balance two horses, two different horses. Black and white, black and white. Whoa. Just when I said that, the blast of wind just passed through. So it's almost like you need to balance your light side with the dark side, you know. The dark side would be that trigger and anger, and the light side would be this love. So whatever this core problem is, it was kind of holding you back, you know. And it almost kind of took control, even though maybe you weren't aware of it, you know, about that trigger. But it kind of took over. And now when the Queen of Cups takes over, when it pours some of that lightness and healing energy here, it's gonna balance itself, you know. It's pretty cool. I like it. Oh, I almost forgot the bottom cards. There you are. Okay, High Priestess, the Star, Ten of Pentacles, Empress, and the Sun. Again, Epiphanies. Oh my god. Like I said here, with this Sun. Again, you're getting those downloads because of the Tower. It's gonna blast everything, you know. All your chakras. Also, this Tower, this trigger, it's gonna well, first of all, it's gonna give you lots of abundance with the epiphanies that you're gonna get. Well, not the Tower, the epiphanies will gonna bring you well, wait, hold on. The tower is gonna give you an abundance of epiphanies. Oh my god. English. uh, but also because you're gonna balance yourself on the inside. It's also it's like a new level is gonna unlock inside your Empress energy. And again, this is the key. I mean, this is the only queen that showed up. Only queen of the 4 that's inside the Empress. A new appreciation for your own self. And again, with a theme of water. She's surrounded with water. There's water here and fishes. There's a fish here. Is there anything in Pisces happening in the sky? I don't know. Wait, what's the opposite of the Virgo? It's the Pisces, right? So the full moon is gonna be in Pisces, right? I think so, yeah. Yeah, the last one was in Aquarius. Oh, there you go. I'm getting epiphanies live with you guys. So maybe this newfound love is gonna happen around the full moon in Pisces, or I should say the new moon Pisces is gonna bring that water element, and it's gonna bring that love, self-love, and all that. See how it's all connected. That's why tarot is never boring. It never gets old. And I was wondering, why am I seeing fishes here? Like, I never noticed fishes there. Yeah, so the full moon is helping here as well. It's helping with that self-love and anger imploding, then exploding, and then love comes in when it's all exploded. Oh, that's pretty cool. And again, when all this settles, when the tower does its purpose, you're gonna feel whole again. Again, a whole new appreciation for being whole. Like I said here with the near-death experience. It's like a person thought they were all alone their whole life, then they have a near-death experience. When they come back, they realize, oh my god, I saw heaven, I saw all my dead relatives, I saw God, I saw angels, oh my god, I'm actually not alone. and then they appreciate life more, you know. It's that kind of feeling, you know. Maybe some of you were just feeling empty, you know. I'm not with my DM, I'm feeling so empty. Part of my soul is missing. But you're gonna realize that you actually are a whole, and that you're not missing anything. And again, it's pentacles, it's grounded, it's gonna stay with you. It's gonna stay with you. It's gonna be stuck, you know, stuck in a good way. Just like a child when it learns, I don't know, to ride a bike, you know, and they learn it all by themselves. You feel proud, you feel, you know, happy, and it sticks with you, you know. Same with these epiphanies. When you figure it out, you're just gonna be, you know, like you're on top of the mountain. Just don't think back, you know, like, oh my god, if I knew this back then, maybe me and my DM would be together now, or whatever, you know. Don't think in those kind of terms, please. Everything happens in divine timing, and this thing, again, divine timing. And the energies, you know, back then the energies weren't these kind of energies. And if they impacted you in this way before, maybe they wouldn't your DM. So, you know, it's not just you, you know. It had to be, you had to be on a certain level, they had to be on a certain level, I don't know, the cat had to be on a certain level, the grandma had to be on a certain level, you know. It's just all the puzzle pieces, all the chess pieces need to be in a perfect alignment and position for this to happen. So don't even think about the past. Oh my god, if I knew this back then, you know. No. It's happening in perfect timing. So don't feel bad, you know. If you get a major epiphany, don't feel bad about the past. So there, that's your reading. I hope you liked it. It's like a whole other clarifier on just the tower, you know. It's pretty cool. It's the next episode of the previous reading. So if you didn't watch that one, watch it. There you go. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I love reading your stories. And if I can help with anything, I will. I also put my PayPal link down below in the description if anybody wants to support the channel and donate. And that's it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.